Looks like Noddy's making a special guest appearance today. Welcome to Lot 76 Cars. My name is Simon and today we're at the fabulous Fiat and Friends events at the British Motor Museum. We've got some great cars behind us, modern and period Fiats and many other related cars. Seen some Lancias and Alphas and a few others in there. So join me for the walk round. Let's go and have a look at some of them, shall we? So in full Italian 90 livery is a Fiat Tipo. When's the last time you saw one of these? Now I'm not quite sure whether the model's based on this car or the car's based on the model, but it's a faithful recreation, isn't it? It looks like an official UK car. Look at those lovely tweed seats inside. I'm not sure if you can see that past the reflection on the camera, but they've done an absolutely cracking job with that. You simply just do not see these. I cannot recall seeing one of these at a recent show. Absolutely lovely, isn't it? So this 1993 Tempra 1.6 SXIE is apparently the only one that's left on the road that's actually taxed. It looks like it's been to the festival and exceptional recently. Based, I think, very closely based on the Tipo. Got a few nice features like this one at the back, like a separate wiper. I still think a wiper on a saloon can be quite handy. Why should hatchbacks get all the fun? Absolutely great condition, isn't it? Well, to say it was bought as a parts car, it's looking pretty good, isn't it? So regarded by some as one of the first hatchbacks in Europe. This is a later one. It's a Fiat 127 Sport. So this is lovely, isn't it? It's signal orange. It's got a whole 70 horsepower, 0 to 16, 13.9 seconds or something. It was probably a good result back in the day, wasn't it? I absolutely love the colour. It's been on Hubnut. Well, who hasn't? So this is an absolute unicorn. It's a Fiat Chroma CHT. So it's one of the Type 4 cars that you never see. The Alfa 164, the Saab 9000, and this is another one. So I think they share the door panels in actual fact. The designer was the same. I think Giugiaro designed all of the cars, but as I said, the Chroma is a super rare one. Look at it closely, you can see the similarity with the Saab 9000. Let's have a look inside because the owner's given me permission to do it. It's actually for sale. It's one of 7 left. I didn't even think there was many as 7. Look at that dashboard angle towards the driver. Still got the original radio cassette. Really simple instrumentation. Beautiful herringbone cloth seats, and we can also see the door panels there as well. It's in really good order. So somebody's going to get a pretty good car. If you want a car for Festival and Exceptional next year, well, this one is a clear unicorn, isn't it? Absolutely lovely, fantastic. So this was subject to a 2-year restoration by the owner. It's an original UK car, 2-litre twin cam engine, 131 Sport. My God, when did you see the last one of these? Now it is similar to a car the owner had when he was 18, I think, and he's had to find another. Well, that must have been pretty tricky to find another one in actual fact. And then he's rebuilt this in 2 years, and hasn't he done a cracking job? Absolutely lovely, isn't it? So let's get a shot inside this car and see what Fiats of this period were like. Well, the switch gears, we've got wind up keep fit windows. We've got that interesting looking instrument binnacle there. I don't know what to make of that, to be honest with you. A 2-spoke wheel, a little sort of semi-tunnel at the front where the gearbox is mounted. Lovely sort of velour type seats, look original. Wow. Well, there you go. It's a bit of a taste of Fiats from that period. Lovely, isn't it? So along with the orange car we've just seen, all of these cars here went to Turin to celebrate the 50th anniversary. I think, you know, pretty much they've got cars from Spain and all over the place as well. Absolutely fantastic, isn't it? These are such rare cars these days. Another one there, got that similar interior, hasn't it? That's lovely. Oh, that's a left-hand drive one. So there can't be that many UK cars left. I think we've probably got just about most of them here today. Brilliant, isn't it? So for Italian 90, the football might not have gone our way, but they did send us the Fiat Panda Italian 90. Now it's got those, they're absolutely real those, it's got those football hubcaps there, which is absolutely, which is how they were fitted from new. It's got the badge on the grille, and we'll also just have a look inside because we need to show you that interior, because that interior, it's even got the Italian 90 logo in there. There's lots of blue in there as well. Well, that's an absolute treat, isn't it? Absolutely love that one. So the Fiat Strada, or Ritmo in some markets, got a facelift, got a bit more character, I would say, a bit later on in life. It's got that grille. This is the not the standard car. I think it's a 105 TC, I'm presuming. Oh, it's a 130 TC, I correct myself there. Well, it's in absolutely excellent condition, isn't it? How many of these are left? Not many at all. And here's one of them. So initially built by Fiat, and I think it went on to be built under license or some agreement with Bertoni, but still sold through Fiat. It's the rear mid-engined X19. Now, the reason it's significant is X19 was actually the project number. So Fiat, for once, used the project number to actually give the model its name, rather than give it a separate name, which is quite inspired, I guess, isn't it? So Giorgetto Giugiaro designed many great cars, and amongst them the Panda. This is a later one, but you can see common to all of them with very little changes is you've got that flat glass. There is not a curved bit of glass, I think, anywhere on the car. This really boxy design, people absolutely dote on these, don't they? So that's the later one. So let's have a look. There's an early one there. So this is a 45 CL. I presume that's 45 horsepower. Got the original steel wheels, no hood caps there at all. Great condition inside, very thin seats. The ashtray you can slide across from passenger to driver as necessary. Well, apologies for the Panda overloading there, but that is lovely. So built in order to homologate a 2.4 engine for motorsport, this is a Fiat Dino. So there was a Ferrari Dino, you're right, and this is the Fiat Dino Coupe. Some would argue in some ways it's prettier. It's got a bit of Aston Martin DB about the back of it, isn't it? Love those vents, those details at the back. Pretty rare to see these cars today, and that's lovely, isn't it? Let's take a look at that Dino badge as well. Not too many cars bear the Dino name, and this is one of the few that do. Left-hand drive, I don't think these officially came to the UK. Fantastic. So this is apparently one of 3 known Stradas. Well, 2 are known, 1 appears to exist. Very early cars. You see how the early cars didn't have the separate grille. You got the bonnet that came down the nose. It's a 75 CL, but it's also an automatic. So the platform underneath this actually went on to be used with the Lancia Delta. Look at those lovely door handles there. The owner has invited me to have a look inside, so we've got to, haven't we, really? Look at the switchgear there. The green and red switchgear markings. Quite a high dash, somewhere to put your cup of tea when you stop. Lovely brown trim. Looks an absolute treat, doesn't it? We'll take a look round the back as well and try and get it in shot. I think I may have filmed this car even only last week at Festival of the Unexceptional, so it's possible you've had a double dose of that one, but why not? So to celebrate Michael Schumacher's 2005 World Championship, Fiat built this Stilo Schumacher with a 2.4 litre 5-cylinder engine, but it goes a bit. Apparently only 100 ever came to the UK. Not sure what the survival rate is. Probably I'll stick that on screen if I find out. This is car number 76, and apparently it's for sale. A pretty rare beast these days. It's got the Schumacher signature at the bottom of the sill at the back. What else has he got? I think there's something on, there's a graphic on the back as well. Schumacher limited edition. And I think that's your lot externally anyway, in terms of maybe those OZ wheels. What a cracker that one is, isn't it? So you'd be forgiven for thinking this might be a Maserati from some angles, but it's actually a Fiat 2300S, styled by the styling house Ghia. I think shown in 1960. I think less than 72 of them came, maybe 72 came to the UK. People think maybe there's about 7 left. Love that curved rear glass. That's a real period feature, isn't it? What a cracking looking car, isn't it? And that came out of Fiat. Well, it came out of Ghia. They did a great job, didn't they? So Dante Giacosa's masterpiece, the Fiat 500 in its various guises. Well, we've got quite a few of those. I won't attempt to go through everyone. I did follow a few of them on the way here. It looks cosy in there for driver and passenger, I must admit. That sort of turquoise blue coloured one, I may have followed that one in, and it looks an absolute treat, doesn't it? That is beautiful. What is not to like about these little Fiat 500s? Fantastic. So first shown in 1966 and then subsequently gained the European Car of the Year award in 67. It's the Fiat 124. Now this is way more advanced than people give it credit for. I think coil spring suspension, all round disc brakes, I mean features that were virtually unheard of, engineered into a small car at the time. So you know that silhouette obviously in its various formats was used by other manufacturers, as we probably all know, but it's not at first sight do you really understand how significant and how class leading the engineering was that went into it. And that one's a show win as well. It looks a treat, doesn't it? So another packaging masterpiece is this Fiat Uno. It's a later one, it's a 1 litre i. It's got the grille that the later cars had, but is true to the original look of the car. I love the door handles on these. I mean, it doesn't have the handles as such, it has a recess. So we're just going to open that and have a quick look inside. It is actually for sale, so I love that interior there. It's got a proper decent T-shelf. Furious driving would be proud of that one, wouldn't he there? I do love these interiors, bare painted metal, just really honest looking car. We've got sun visors, what more do you want? We've got wind up windows. That looks a treat, doesn't it? So you need a bit more power. Well, we can promise you a turbo IE now. We can show you that 130 brake horsepower. It's a facelift model as well. You've still got the familiar door handles here, so we're going to have a look from the passenger side this time. I've asked permission as always, but the trim's gone up a level, hasn't it? We've got that lovely cloth trim on the doors. We've got some sort of bucketed type seats, so got a bit more bolster protection. Beautiful condition, isn't it? The plastic has survived incredibly well with this one. Oh, we've got a sunroof, and it's a factory sunroof as well. We didn't do it in Tesco's car park. That is absolutely incredible. The owner said it's got the etched windows because we thought that'd save cars being nicked, and it sounds pretty tasty as well, doesn't it? I won't linger too long. There are so many of the modern Fiat 500s, and I'm glad they are. You've got some of the special editions. You've got the Riva, I think inspired by the speedboat. You've also got the Dolce Vita. Well, that sounds good. Just the name alone sounds good. We've got another one, not sure what colour that one is, and then we've got the white one with the customary Italian flag stripes. Well, what's not to like? So originally sold by my local Fiat dealer, our Roadhouse in Doncaster when I was a kid, is this well-travelled and just celebrating a 40-year-old Fiat Strada Cabriolet. Lovely brown metallic. We'll get a shot, the top's down so we can have a proper look inside it. It was at Festival and Exceptional last week, didn't get a chance to see it close up. Fabulous. Look at this, there's no shortage of blanking plates there, but there's those lovely instruments. They're quite small actually. 5-speed box, decent amount of room in the back for a passenger. With a bit of man maths, that sounds like a practical car, doesn't it? That looks amazing, doesn't it? Beautiful. So we've seen a Tipo 5-door, which is pretty rare, but this is a Tipo 2 litre IE. It's the 16 valve model. The styling, it's really clean on that. Looks a bit more than a bigger Uno, doesn't it? I think, to be honest with you. Quite a quick car back in the day. I mean, I think they were well received by the motoring press. I think there might have been some quotes there in the windscreen. Yes, there is. There's no doubt that the Tipo 16 valve is the best fast hatch. Well, that's one of them. There's quite a few more there. Let's take a quick look inside. The owner's very helpfully left the window open. Look at that striped trim in there. Red carpet. Well, what else would do? Brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, a rare beast, and I've seen two of them today already, or two were Tipos anyway. That's ticked the box. Arriving in force, Fiat Barchetta's only ever sold in left-hand drive form based on a Punto platform. A Barchetta standing for little boat. Well, it sounds glorious, doesn't it? So at last we've got an early Uno, not a pre-facelift car. That's a treat, isn't it? Just purring its way in. That'd be an 850 coupe, I suspect. So one of Chris Bangle's early designs before his BMW period was the Fiat Coupe. So you can see a very interesting design, how it's got those sort of slashes in the side wing that continue all the way. They disappear into the door, then they start again here. There's a lot going on with this one. The aluminium filler cap a bit further on. It's a real car of beauty, and I think the more I see them, the more they grow on me, to be honest with you. There's multiple cars here today. We'll take a look round the front. Sold as a 16 valve, I think it's a 5-cylinder, and also a turbo version as well. I think the basic one's got the smaller wheels, and we've got, what's that, Jello Fly. Oh, I do like the green one. That looks beautiful, doesn't it? These are starting to get appreciated for what they are, which is really practical, usable coupe, and probably one of the prettiest designs going. So apparently as wide as a Mercedes-Benz S-Class is the Fiat Multipla. Now the early cars weren't dumbed down like the later cars, so you've got the lights in the scuttle panel here. They are, I think, 3 across all 2 rows. Absolutely incredibly useful cars. No, not necessarily the prettiest, but I think over the course of the last few years they become appreciated for what they are. That huge glass area, you can see how incredibly practical they are. You could I think that one's got space for 3 kids in the back easily, and 3 in the front as well. Brilliant. So this is the Alpha 75. So I think it was built as a birthday present to itself in an Alfa Romeo. Transaxle design, so the gearbox hangs over the back axle, gives absolutely superb handling. Lovely design at the back. You see how there is a moulding that goes all the way across the top of the doors and into the back and continues around. The reason the car has that moulding is the doors were used on the earlier Giulietta, and they were put on there to disguise the fact that they were reusing the doors from a previous design, which is quite a clever way of doing it. And they continued the theme by putting that strip all the way around the car. That's beautiful condition. I've driven one many years ago, and they handle really well. Lancia Stratos, or certainly something that looks exceedingly like a Lancia Stratos. I know a lot of these are built in kit forms. Original Bertone design. Look how the window, I think it's supposed to be like that. I don't think it's fallen down, is it? But anyway, there's a couple of them here. I don't expect I'm going to see many more of those today. What fabulous sense of occasion. Those cars look dramatic even stood still, don't they? So a rare treat here, a Lancia Beta Monte Carlo. That sounds dramatic, doesn't it? From, I think, 1980. The central part of the car was actually used on the rally car, the 037, but I think that's pretty much where it stopped. It boasts the fact that it's Pininfarina designed. I don't know if Pininfarina assembled it as well. What's that, the door handles off of Morris Marina? Clearly they're not. Got Pininfarina badge in there. Really rare to see these. He's got Fiat Motor sales plates, or maybe it is an ex-company demonstrator, who knows. It's in lovely order, isn't it? So, based on a Strada platform originally, and unbelievably, The Lancia Delta evolved into the Integrale HF16, and I think one of the most successful rally cars of all time. Four-wheel drive, only imported into the UK in left-hand drive form, although some enterprising dealers did convert them to right-hand drive. Fabulous performance cars. I drove one of these back on the channel maybe a couple of years ago, so check that video out because it made a massive impression on me, I must admit, and they still feel pretty quick even today. So an Alfa Sud Sprint, what a pretty little coupe these are. Derived, I think, from the Alfa Sud platform. Sold it officially in the UK. It's a right-hand drive car. They did sell them. I can see the brochure in the back window. So even the actual original passport with the service details. Wow, that's originality for you, isn't it? They look an absolute treat. I do love that wedge styling, and as you can see there, the clover leaf built into the vent. Some little touches like this you need to sort of look a couple of times just to pick up on them. That one is in brilliant order. I mean, these were rotted even back in the day, so the fact that one survived is a testament to the owner. So it's worthwhile mentioning the Alfa 156. These are getting thin on the ground. This must be an early 198 on an S. Can't be much earlier than that one, I don't think. Got those got the offset number plate offset to the right or the left, depending where you're looking from. The door handle at the back is actually hidden. Very well hidden to give a coupe type look, so it's hidden into the window surround, and the spoiler was an option. Now I think some of the spoilers on some models like that was exactly as it came as an option, so you know, it was one of those that not for the shy and retiring, I don't think. Alfa Sud, this one must be a TI because it's got the twin lights at the front, and it's a 3-door. I don't think the TIs came in a 5-door. Built Sud derived from South, so built in the South in a brand new plant, not particularly an experienced labour force at the time, a lot of issues building them, but the car they created or they designed was incredible. Now it's got a separate boot. It was only later cars when it became a hatchback. It looks like a hatch, doesn't it? This is a right-hand drive 77 car. My mum had a 5M, which was also a right-hand drive 77 car. Didn't survive quite as well as that one did, but with a 5-speed gearbox and that peppy little engine, it did not go well. Lancia Beta Coupe. Now, I've never driven one, but I've been in the back of the one as a kid, and there certainly wasn't much for me as an early teen. I don't see so many of them about. I'm surprised they didn't actually use a different model name for this, because obviously part of the Beta family. Beautiful colour, isn't it? So this is the original form of the Delta, the Giugiaro design based on the Strada platform of Melson mentioned elsewhere in the video. Gave its name, or gave its shell, and eventually to the conquering Integrale. It's a right-hand drive car. Looks like a UK supplied car. Most of these just simply dissolved. I'll have to check how many are left or something like that, because this is the 1500 version, and I think it's out survived by the Integrale by huge numbers. These are probably in single digits, I suspect. So we're lucky enough to see another of the Type 4 cars today. This Lancia Tima Turbo IE is in beautiful condition. Fortunately the owners left the door open so we can see how special the inside looks. And doesn't it look an absolute treat? So look at the wood on the door panels. Looks like proper wood, doesn't it? Beautiful sort of Alcantara light seats here. Dashboard angled. I'm not sure what it's like to drive, whether it's a bit Italian in terms of the pedals. You recognise the doors from the other Type 4 cars, like the Chroma we've shared here today. And that looks in beautiful condition, doesn't it? That's lovely. Fiat Puntos, I hear you cry. Yeah, we've got a few of those as well. We've got this lovely, beautiful GT. We've got several cabriolets. I think there's 3 cabriolets here. I will try and get a closer look on that one. That red one looks rather nice, doesn't it? In fact, the orange one, I don't know where to look now. There's quite a few of them. How much space? You've got the big hood on the back. How much space have you got? Oh, just take a look at that. Look at that trim. There's a reasonable amount of space in the back of that one, to be honest with you. It almost looks practical for a cabriolet, doesn't it? That's lovely. So a well-known commercial disaster of the Type 4 Lancia Tima, but this is the 832. So that's the dead giveaway, and the Ferrari block. Some parts common to the Ferrari like the block, some parts not. Massively expensive. Back in 1997 these were £38,000. I'll have to put that in today's money, but beautiful interior. Got the spoiler at the back. I presume it stays like that and doesn't actually pop up, but yeah, commercial disaster, but brilliant to see it. What a car. So pretty, so delicate looking is this Giulietta Sprint. This is beautiful. Left-hand drive car, so it's obviously clearly come in. It's difficult to say about the dimension. It's got a hint of Aston at the back. Well, I've said that a couple of times today, but it's just so pretty, isn't it? They really turned out some super looking cars back in the day, Alfa Romeo, didn't they? So a beautiful couple of 105 series cars. I think the single light ones are the juniors, and I think the double light ones might be the GTVs. Feel free to put it in the comments if I've got that wrong. I'm sure some of you know far better than me. The early cars had a step nose. I thought it was something to do with cooling it, but these haven't. In fact, it was just a design difference. These had quite a long life. This is a 2000. I guess it is the GTV, to be honest with you. They are pretty cars, aren't they? I know they do handle extremely well. And this is the GT, oh, just the 1300 Junior, but lovely tangerine colour, isn't it? Oh, I do like that one. That's absolutely lovely. In fact, they both are. So built over, I think, a 7-year life in Poland predominantly is the, first of all, we've got the Cinquecento, then we've got the Seicento. I think basically that's fundamentally the same car. I'm sure one of you would tell me if I'm wrong. I think that one here belongs to Joe from Classics World. I'm pretty sure it does. I recognise that car. Lovely to see that. You certainly stand out. And we've got the Cinquecento sporting version there, so we've got the chance to compare and contrast the two. Don't often get that. They are fundamentally quite different looking cars, aren't they? So this is a rare beast. That said, I've seen two today, but it's a Fiat 128 Sport L, the coupe, 1300cc. From the side view, it's actually quite a stubby car. Actually, I don't know why, but it reminds me of a Mitsubishi. I'm not quite sure why it does that, but there you go. Looks like a right-hand drive car, so UK car more than likely. Doesn't have any mirrors on, so you've got to have good observation here. But then again, with a lot of the glass area of these older cars, it's not really a problem. Well, what a treat that is! Absolutely lovely. Now, from memory, I think these are the Fiat Gamine. I think these were built by Vignale. I'm not entirely sure, but just based on the 500. Well, it's pretty rudimentary in there, to say the least. I'm glad to see that here today. I don't know how far the people have come. You can see obviously the connection with the 500 at the back. Well, what can I say? I mean, perfect holiday transport. I'm not sure whether you'd use it day to day, but yeah, so glad to see it. So this is the lesser known Fiat Chroma, and this was based on the Signum platform. Do you remember the Signum, which itself was based on the Insignia platform? Yeah, it's getting a bit confusing now, isn't it? These are pretty rare. If you thought the earlier Chromas were rare, these were even rarer. Actually, you know, way better built, quite nicely appointed inside. The owners kindly opened the door for me to have a look inside of this one. And actually, not only is there plenty of space in there, but it's really well appointed. You've got a bit of wood trim, leather. It looks quite a decent place to be. In fact, the Signum wasn't a bad car either. Wood on the door panels there as well. Quite a bit of space in the rear, actually, as you can see. And it's actually quite difficult to determine from the back that it is actually related to the Sigma. It's quite tall proportions and quite short, but there you go. You might not see another one of those, and it's not a particularly old car. So predecessor to the Dante Giacosa 500 is the Fiat Topolino. This is from 500 Topolino from 1938, I think. This is minimum motoring. I mean, narrow. I don't know if you picture it on camera. This is an extremely narrow vehicle. Fortunately, the owners left the top off. The top folds all the way back, so you've got sort of pretty much soft top motoring, and That's great to see that here. We've got a picnic on the go as well. Lovely. Now there's rare and absolutely hen's teeth rare, and this is a Fiat Argenta based on the 132, which is quite an old-fashioned design. Fiat, bless them, did their best to tidy this one up, and they managed. Unfortunately, the car was launched, the name Argenta was about the same time as we were having a little bit of a fight with another country over some islands, and had some connotations. Oh, it looks beautiful inside, doesn't it? I like the trim. 3-spoke steering wheel. Look at that. Well, it's got a check panel there. That was all the rage. It's a pity we can't add smells to this, because it just smells 80s in there. Absolutely. It's in great condition as well. We'll take a look around the back. Oh, we've got a remote mirror there. That's handy. We've even got electric windows. Take a look around the back here as well. Quite square proportions you'd expect, and that's where you see the relationship with the 132 is clear. What an incredible looking car, isn't it? So this is apparently the earliest known Fiat Punto in the UK. I think it belongs to Furious Driving Matt. It may do anyway, I'm not quite sure. It's a 75. It's quite a high spec. Yes, it is Matt's car. It's got not a pop-up supermarket car park sunroof, it's got a proper sunroof. Doesn't that look in good condition? I think he's got a bit of work planned on that one, paint work, but a rare survivor. So why, I hear you cry, are you showing us another Fiat Stilo? Well, this time there's one that I didn't even recall existed. It's a Fiat Stilo, but it's a Stilo estate. I didn't even know they made these, to be honest with you. Quite a useful looking estate car as well. Massive load area there. Big old car. You know, 2005 is not that long ago really, but I don't recall ever seeing one of those. So what a stunning little Abarth coupe. When Abarth was a bit more than a badge or a trim line, is this absolutely glorious, beautiful little coupe. Fortunately, somebody's left the windows open. We can have a quick look inside there as well. Lovely rimmed steering wheel there. A wood rim steering wheel. It's beautiful, doesn't it? Look at some of the touches on there. I think it must be, I guess Zagato is involved, because it's got the Zagato badge there, which was a design house. We've got the knock-on, knock-off type wheels, or they certainly look like that, even if they're not. Tiny, tiny, tiny car when you consider it at the size of others. It's amazing, isn't it? Beautiful, that's captivating. Now this is a beautiful little car, isn't it? Didn't Fiat design some crackers? And this is a 124 Sport, I think. What would that be, 1970 on an H plate? It's a left-hand drive car. It's beautifully trimmed inside, or maybe it's been retrimmed. But isn't it a stunner? From every angle, that is a very elegant little coupe. You've got to admit that. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? So much glass area. So thanks again for joining me on Lot 76 Cars. I hope you've enjoyed the cars we've seen today, like this fabulous Tipo 16 valve behind us. Please like, share, subscribe. Click on notifications so to be informed of my next video. And once again, as always, thanks for watching.